Why play Briar Jungle? Well, she is an amazing duelist. She clears the jungle incredibly healthily. Her ultimate is a basically global gank tool, and she brings tons of utility with 2 stuns and a fear. However, she is weak when behind, not having the damage needed when locked into her 1v1s. And she is on the squishier side for a champion that does need to go in. Briar's passive is that her attacks and abilities bleed the enemy for 5 seconds, stacking up to 9 times, with the first stack dealing a large amount of additional damage. She heals herself a portion of this bleed damage dealt, and if the bleeding target dies, she heals for all the remaining bleed damage. The second part of her passive, however, is that she has no base health regen, but does instead get additional healing from all sources the lower health she is. Briar's Q is a point-and-click ability which causes her to leap to a unit. If this unit is an ally, she simply leaps to them. However, if the target is an enemy, she deals damage, stuns them, and reduces their armor. This ability can also be used over walls. Briar's W causes her to dash in a direction which can go over walls. If there is a nearby enemy, she then gains Blood Frenzy. While under Blood Frenzy, she turns herself berserk, taunting herself against the nearest enemy, revealing the target and gaining ghosting, bonus attack speed, bonus movement speed, and making her attacks deal additional damage. In addition, this ability can then be recast to reset her basic attack timer and make her next attack deal additional damage, gain additional range, and heal her for a decent chunk. Briar's E is similar to Silent's Q, where it's charged for 1 second, where she increases the ability's damage and range, gaining damage reduction and healing herself. And this ability cannot be interrupted by CC effects. If this is recast early, the ability deals damage and slows, but if it was fully charged, it pushes enemies back a large distance and deals damage to them. If they collide with terrain, they take even more damage, are knocked up, and then stunned for a long time. Incredibly importantly as well, this ability can be used to end the self-taunt effect on her W and ultimate early if needed. Briar's ultimate is an almost global, insanely long-range skill shot which marks the first enemy champion hit. If a target is hit, she cleanses herself of all CC and dashes to the target. Upon arrival, she deals damage to all nearby enemies and then fears all the targets apart from the one hit by the ability. After this, she becomes Berserk, where she gains all the effects of her W's Blood Frenzy, but also armor, magic resist, lifesteal, and move speed. For combos, your go-to will be to use W towards your opponent, and when you need to gap close, use Q followed up by your fully charged E. If using your ultimate, land it and then start spamming away with attacks. Use your W for your first gap close and then Q for your second gap close before following up with a fully charged E into more attacks. For matchups, as a pure auto-attack duelist, she is going to struggle against champions who can easily exploit this weakness, and she's great into champions who she can easily get onto and out-duel every time. For Rune to take Conqueror, it synergizes very easily with her kit. For build order, start Green Monster and Pot into Stride Breaker and Tier 2 boots, with Triforce and Gore Drinker also being viable. After this, a Black Cleaver and Bork are great pickups before finishing a build with any of these as needed. For skill order, start W then E then Q before maxing W then Q then E, taking ult whenever you can. For summoner spells, take Flash and Smite. Ghost also works well too. Starting the game, you want to do a full clear. Where her first clear isn't the fastest, she does stay incredibly healthily, which puts her in a great position to go for a scuttle. After this, you can simply back or look for a gank. When you hit level 6, your ganks are incredible, but do be careful ever using your ultimate or your W when you're nearby an enemy tower where they can simply run under it while you're taunted. Entering the mid game, you're an amazing duelist, so you want to keep looking for smaller 2v2 or 3v3 skirmishes and converting into objectives. Entering late game team fights, you want to hit a big ultimate. Wait for the fight to start, then use it to get into the fight. Scatter their team with fear before getting onto a priority target and blowing them up.